This is JP with Political Pop Culture, and this is my take. On his first day in office, President Joe Biden signed an executive order revoking the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. This is a permit which was granted by his predecessor, former President Trump. In revoking the Keystone XL permit, Joe Biden has accomplished many things, although some of these things I think he's probably going to end up regretting. Namely, killing thousands of union jobs. Now, Biden supporters, many of them are contending that these jobs are construction jobs and therefore they're temporary. But hey, we are still talking about a long-term project with construction lasting for years. Truck drivers, fabricators, steel workers, welders, heavy equipment operators, and more. Don't kid yourself. This is going to adversely impact hundreds of thousands of Americans. Biden's move here is going to cause energy prices to, as his old boss Barack Hussein Obama once said, necessarily skyrocket.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Hey, you remember $4 plus per gallon gas? Get ready, because those prices, they're coming back. Oh, and when the gas prices go up, the price of everything is going up. When you go to the store, every single product you buy got there on a truck. Oil prices go up, diesel prices go up, the cost of shipping goes up. You get the idea. President Biden is putting more and more Americans at risk. There are only 4 ways to transport crude oil around the country: by boat, by truck, by rail, or by pipeline. The oil that would have been flowing through Keystone XL instead going to be transported mainly by railroad from Canada down to Texas. Transporting oil by rail statistically is more dangerous and less environmentally friendly than the pipeline. So why would President Biden revoke the permit for Keystone XL, knowing the negative impact canceling that permit was going to have? Well, for an answer, let's talk about that last point that I made. If the oil isn't flowing through a pipeline, how is it getting across the country from Canada down to Texas? Well, some's moving via tanker truck, but the majority of that crude oil is moving by railroad. 70% of crude oil and petroleum products in the U.S. are shipped via pipeline. Trucking accounts for 4% and rail just 3%. But as pipeline projects start failing due to negative press and pressure from so-called environmental groups, more and more crude is moving along North America's rail systems. Canada, right now, today, is exporting hundreds of thousands of barrels per day via rail. And that's coming right through our backyards here in flyover country. Burlington Northern Santa Fe, or BNSF, is the largest rail company in North America. They did almost $24 billion in revenue in 2019. Take a guess. Who owns BNSF? If you guessed the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, you guessed correctly. For those not familiar with Buffett, he is the chief executive of investment corporation Berkshire Hathaway, and he's one of the richest men on the planet, with a net worth estimated at almost $85 billion. Why is that important? Why does it matter who Warren Buffett is or that he owns BNSF? It matters because Buffett is a big money donor to liberal politicians like the Clintons, like Barack Obama, and like current President Joe Biden. It matters because Warren Buffett stands to make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars transporting Canadian oil across the United States. This is money that he wouldn't be making if his candidate, Joe Biden, hadn't taken control of the Oval Office. This is money he wouldn't be making if his president, Joe Biden, hadn't signed this executive order revoking the Keystone XL permit. This is just another example of using the power of the presidency to pick winners and losers in the private sector. You remember Barack Obama giving $500 million to Solyndra, who took the money and then went out of business? Oh, and I'm sure that the Bidens' involvement with Burisma and their ties to foreign oil producers have no influence at all on the president's desire to curtail energy production here in the United States. The bottom line is killing Keystone XL hurts Americans. Well, It hurts most Americans. I mean, I guess if you're a big money liberal donor, especially one who owns a railroad, it's a great thing for you. That's my take. What's your take? Let me know in the comments or by joining the cult at Pol Pop Cult on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Rumble. Thanks for listening.